You'll be obliged to answer each question truthfully. There are certain areas where a national security exemption will apply. Things like meeting places, techniques, names of sources, and so forth. We're working through those items with the counsel for the inquiry. Don't worry about them. You won't be asked, and if you are, the counsel for the inquiry will intervene. It'll be fine. The Americans, said Stuart. Yes, said Jake. We've discussed this at length with the government, and together we've reached the conclusion that the Americans' involvement isn't relevant to the proceedings. Therefore, the inquiry will be unaware of our dealings with them. Is that clear? But the Americans served up Abu Omar and the whole deal. Are you suggesting we should be economical with the truth? Stuart sighed. Earth to Jake. Join us back in the real world. This is about striking the right balance between justice being seen to be done and the reality. What if I'm asked about them? You won't be. Because if I am, I won't tell lies. Of course not. But the subject won't come up. Trust me. Nothing to worry about. There's one more thing, said the legal advisor. Yes? I'm afraid that as the legal representative for the service, I'm unable to represent your interests at the same time. I'm an employee. This is just a nicety, Jake, said Stuart. One of those bloody legal things. The issue is, said the legal advisor, that one could imagine circumstances where our interests could be different. For example, if the service chose to assert that you'd failed to obey the rules of your appointment or meet minimum professional standards. See what I mean? Said Stuart with a wry smile. Never going to happen. But this is what the legal beagles tell us. Or, for instance, you were to claim you were under some kind of undue pressure from the service, or it hadn't looked after your personal welfare sufficiently. You see, it's possible our interests could diverge. To that end, we suggest that you engage independent legal advice for yourself. We'll give you a list of expert counsel in this area who have the right clearances. Christmas shopping. Samir was an absolute sucker for Christmas. Had been. Mr. Masood still hadn't adjusted his language. Always overdid it. Spent money he didn't have. Loved the lights and the trees. Decorated the house to within an inch of its life. Aisha loved it too. It was only Mr. Masood who jibbed. The waste. The commercialism, the godlessness too. His wife tut-tutted at his sourness. You grumpy old man, she said. Worse still, Samir had taken Aisha out of school for the day so that they could buy something nice for Mummy and see the displays in Hamleys and the lights along Regent Street. Samir had told the school that Aisha was unwell. Samir's wife had asked Mr. Masood to take on the job of phoning the school a few days after the attack to tell them what had actually happened. It was one of the several horrible tasks that death necessitates. Mr. Masood was occasionally asked, usually by white people, whether he had ever been back to Pakistan. Back. He was always polite in his response. No, never, he'd say. Only rarely, and with careful tentativeness for fear of being regarded as a pedant, would he say, I couldn't go back. I've never been there in the first place. His parents had come to England in the mid-60s, a year or so before he was born. So he had not even been conceived on the subcontinent, he liked to joke privately with his wife. They'd built a life in the city, with the corner shop in a predominantly working-class white part of town that during the 70s and 80s became something of an Asian enclave, its Edwardian terraces neglected physically and exploited financially by unscrupulous white landlords. Now it was inhabited largely by young professionals who, Mr. Masood observed with approval, were far more at ease with each other and themselves than his generation, and had little regard for matters of colour or creed. The business had had to adapt to the times, and Mr. Masood had made a success of it.